so fuck with my piece. Yeah, please so fuck with that.
What's going on, everybody? It's another episode from the Certified Vets. I'm one of your co-hosts, T. And to my left, I got
Riley.
And as always, you got Duke De Niro.
And John the Tech Man.
And let's just dive right into it, man. I gotta ask my boy Lean right here. Are you black?
I don't know, man. 'Cause sometimes I'm talking to you niggas when I'm playing fucking Call of Duty. Calling out about me living in the burbs. You say my words a certain type of way. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Am I black?
Do you feel black?
And I mean, we got to talk about what black really even means. You know what I mean? Before we even get into that.
But what are we hearing in the media that's why this topic is actually coming up? Because I'm kind of seeing a lot of people saying that, you know what, they don't feel black enough for the black community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you got to say about that, dude?
Okay, so there's this article from Page 6 about Willow Smith and Jaden. It was just basically saying Willow Smith says that she and her brother Jaden felt shunned by the black community as they grew up, you know, bucking norms in their creative lives. It also says Jaden, 22, and Willow both began adopting more androgynous approach to their appearances in the early 2010s, with Willow shaving her head and Jaden wearing dresses and high heels during public appearances. So
going back to the question, are you black? What makes you black? The thing is, them being shunned by the black community. For example, let's say, like, first things first, black people, do we dress up in skirts? Like black men, do they wear high heels and dresses?
Nah, bro.
Not that I know of.
So them being shunned,
Mm-hmm.
that's something that's they're doing something that we're not really used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I guess here we're gonna really discuss what does it mean to be black. You know, like culturally, what does it mean to be black?
So my question would be, because I could hear the people that are actually a part of that lifestyle saying, what does me as a 22-year-old male wearing a dress and high heel shoes have to do with my blackness?
Because you could be anything and you could still be black.
I'll be straight up. I wouldn't even be talking about blackness. I'd be more talking about sexuality, if anything. You know what I mean?
Which the word
if you're talking about high heels and
if that's what you're feeling shunned for, was it actually being shunned for, like he's saying, being black, or because
your choice of okay.
But yeah, let's find out, like, what is the definition? What makes us black? You know what I mean? What makes people blacker than other people?
Well, I guess it all comes down to this. Let's look at Jada and Will's situation, right? Jaden's situation. Historically, black people, we don't really do them things. So to see them do it, it's kind of strange for us to see.
Right.
Yeah.
On top of that, we know, like, for example, if you look through history, that's more of like a white Greekish, custom, in terms of, men dressing like women, homosexuality, all them type of things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in Greek culture, you see, like, Michelangelo, the man's posing up with the buddy, the man's buddy there, and you see that all throughout Greek culture.
I don't see that.
In Greek culture, you talking about statues and whatnot.
Yeah.
But in
That's a statue in this room. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But in, like, African culture, you're not gonna see no statue of man naked, body hanging out. You don't really see that in African literature. Do we see that?
Well, I'm not really. I'm not going to front. I don't really dive deep into that.
What's that statue in
Senegal?
Is it Senegal?
Where the man's holding his child on his shoulder and
he has something like he's covered, right?
I don't know. I never looked at the private part to see.
Yeah, I'm not really into that stuff.
Yeah, you don't watch those things over here.
Yeah, I know. I know when you go to Jamaica and you go into resorts, they have the fucking little statues they have with the fucking 10-foot penis.
That's a whole.
That's a different type of thing, but I don't think it's like ingrained in our culture to have male private parts exposed like the Greek.
Right.
Okay. I do agree with that 100%.
Anyway, let's get back on topic. Let me ask you, Duke. What does it mean? First of all, do you feel that you're black? Are you black enough?
Yes, I feel I'm
okay.
black
And what
enough.
does it mean to be black?
To be aware of your community, to be aware of yourself, to be aware of your culture, to be aware of everything to do with your history.
Okay.
For me, is what really defines what it means to be black.
Okay. And you guys all agree with that, or?
I disagree.
Okay.
Because the Chinese is aware of their history. The Chinese are aware of their culture. Are they black?
No. I mean, of your own culture is what I'm talking about.
Well, what is our own culture? Or what is black culture?
Black culture. You're right.
Like what is the boundaries that says this is black culture?
So you educate me then.
No, you're answering the question. You said
Nah,
I
you
just
calling
wanna-
them
I just
out.
wanna
First of all, for the unlearned,
Need that on a shirt.
could you
Elaborate
elaborate
that,
on that? Because to me, when someone asked me that question 10 years ago,
right.
I'd be like, oh, my skin color, I'm black,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
As social media kind of makes the world smaller and you get an opinion from everybody under the sun, it's like people are complaining that they don't feel black because they're judged by the way they speak, their mannerisms. They're judged on the music they listen to, right? For instance,
Or where they grew up.
or where they grew up, right?
Well, we can
Even though
dead that. We can
even though
dead
I'm a
that
Jada
because
Finch man, but
no, we can dead that because just because you know how to articulate a few words doesn't mean you're not black.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that has no.
but yeah,
realistically, that should have no bearing on
Right.
what whether you're black or not.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the articulation of words, we can dead that right there. We can all agree
Okay.
that
Fair enough.
if you say you pronounce your ERs, at the
Right.
end of your words,
Right.
that doesn't mean you're less black than anybody else.
So
right?
is there any, and actually, T, what do you think before we'll kind of switch it up a little bit? What do you think it means to be black, or are you black enough? Has anybody ever told you?
I think that's where you is best to leave. Have
Yeah.
I ever been
Yeah.
Have I ever been put in a situation where I felt I'm not black?
Right.
Never.
Okay.
Right. I've been in situations where people were a little bit more educated than me in my past, where it's like, step your game up, but that had nothing to do with my blackness. That was more of my education level.
Right.
I had people around me that said, challenge me on my coolness, but it has nothing to do with your blackness.
Right.
I had people that challenge me on my athleticism, but have nothing to do with blackness, right? I've never been.
I'm gonna disagree.
Okay, go
And
ahead.
the only reason I'm gonna disagree because I'll tell you now, if you're a black guy, what's the stereotype? You jump high, you run fast. So
Yeah.
if you're not jumping high, you're not running fast, or you don't want to play basketball or whatnot.
Right.
Man's are gonna look at you a certain type of way.
Yeah.
like
Basically,
yo,
if you're
listen,
not
I'm
athletic.
just saying back when we were younger.
So in the neighborhood we grew up, we had one rim in the bottom of the area, right? We
Right.
grew up in Billoway. So at the bottom of the area, there was one basketball court.
Right.
A rim, not even a court, one rim. It was like a key. And we played 21. All spectrums. You have the tall, thin nigga, all the way down to the short, stubby nigga. We're
Right.
all playing ball. We're definitely on different levels when it comes to skills.
Right.
But to me, it was like, you didn't get shunned if you put effort into playing the game.
Right.
Right? If you came in there and you bust your ass, you try to,
You get respect for
Yeah,
that.
you get respect.
Yeah.
If you didn't play basketball,
Come off the court.
come off the court. But we wouldn't challenge you on your blackness.
Okay.
We'd just say you
On
ain't
your
got no
effort.
game.
Right.
Right.
Right? But we would never say, oh, you're not. Like, that concept was not in our heads growing up. It's like
Right,
you weren't
right,
black.
right.
Mhm.
In our heads, more so was if you grew outside of the hood, you were
weren't
not black.
Okay.
You weren't black
Yeah,
enough,
yeah.
right?
Or you weren't black enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you came in here sounding like Todd, and I'm not talking about your educational level where people get people get it
Right.
confused. Oh, because I'm educated, I'm white. No.
Mhm.
If you sound like a valley girl, like, how you doing? Oh my God.
Now here's the thing.
To
though.
me,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna look at you and say, yo, why you sound white?
Right.
But if you
Right.
come in there pronouncing everything, articulating your vocabulary is very broad. I'm not gonna
right.
say you're white. I'm saying,
Yeah.
man,
So
you-
basically, your cadence then.
exactly.
But I think I again, I don't know if we're the only type of people that do that. Kind of like question each other's, blackness.
But we do it the most though of all.
Okay.
Of all.
Because like you
cultures.
said, like you could be if you're a black girl, you're
Yeah.
talking like the girl from
The Hills?
Clueless.
Clueless, yeah.
Remember
Right.
Stacey Dash back in the day.
Yeah.
But if you grew up around that, you know what I mean. Like
There's
if
no
you're
fault.
if you're Jaden Smith and Will
Yeah.
Smith, the only lifestyle you've ever
Yeah.
known is the millionaire lifestyle.
Yep.
And the only people that you're more than likely going to be around are millionaire kids that are Caucasian or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So if you're around a certain type of people,
Yeah.
and they're speaking a certain type of way,
You're
more
gonna
than
be-
likely you're gonna catch on. To
Yeah.
it.
You're gonna
Like
you're-
it'd actually be more weird.
Yeah. You just be
If you're gonna be
conditioned
coming
to
here
it.
talking like yo, what up, my nigga, da 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 da,
Mhm.
but you grew up in Beverly Hills or or any sort of like affluent.
So let me
community.
give you another scenario that actually backs that up. LeBron James' son, Bronny James.
Right.
People saw him with a white girl in one of his TikTok videos and started slapping him.
Mhm.
Oh my God, you can't find a black girl. Well, listen to me, man. LeBron James is a different type of athlete.
Right.
He's a different type of black person. He's rich.
Mm.
I'm not even saying he's rich. He's at the point where now he's wealthy,
Mhm.
right? He's not going to be living around a
Niggas.
lot of black people. Just to be honest, right? And you're going to be attracted to, it's called the propinquity effect. You are attracted to people that you're more closer to,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? So if you go to a school that is all white, you're gonna find a white girl attractive.
Right.
You
I
may
remember
say no or
DJ
not.
Envy. Remember Dr. Umar?
Yeah.
DJ Envy was talking about that. He's like, yo, my kids grow up in the same thing. My kids, if they fall in love with a white chick, what do you like? I mean, I'm not gonna shun him because if that's the only thing that's around for him to choose from,
what can you tell a 16-year-old?
It's conditioning. That's all.
So, for instance, I see John rolling his eyes. As an adult, it's different. But if you are 16 years old, you live in a secluded, gated community where there's nothing but white people. You go to a school where there's nothing but white people. The only black people you're exposed to is your brother and sister and your mother and father and people on your basketball team. You're not around any black women. Of course he's going to be attracted to a white woman or an Indian woman or an Asian.
And we don't want to make this just about like interracial dating or nothing like that.
like
But
that.
just like,
Okay,
again,
but
the way
here's
you
like-
speak,
Right,
the way
right,
you
right,
dress,
right.
you know what I
It's
mean?
gonna be
It's going to be
different.
impacted
Yeah.
or influenced by
your
the people around.
environment. Yeah. Here's the thing though. Why is he moving around only white people?
Well,
He's a
again,
different class,
based on, and it's not it's a class thing.
It's
more
based
than
on what he
anything
was raised around.
What
That's
I
why.
mean, I don't know how many nine-figure black folks there are in the States, let alone in his community in LA, let's say, for example. Beverly Hills, I don't know any streets, but let's say Beverly Hills.
Yeah, we're already a minority too
Who
anyway.
his neighbor is going to
especially
more
in
than
those-
likely be, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and which type of schools is he going to be going? He's not going to the public school in the hood. He's going to be going to the private school
To
where
the affluent, yeah, the affluent. Yeah.
99.9% of black families can't
that's
afford
just
to get the kids in.
Yeah, that's just it is what it is.
And you
right?
can't you can't look at LeBron and say, man, just send him to one of the public schools, man. Don't worry about that.
Right.
No, because now he's a target.
So going back to the main question,
Mm-hmm.
are you black enough?
Right.
If you raise your kids around white people, white culture, that those white people that live around there, white schools, white vocabulary, whatever the case is, though, are they really black? If they're or when I mean black, I mean like, are they really considered like black culturally if they're adopting white? White.
I think for me,
lifestyle?
I think being black is a conscious thing. Like, are you conscious of your blackness?
Yeah. So I would say this, man. What is black? Like we're the only people that use a Crayola color to define our quote unquote culture. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you say, yo, I'm black, what does that actually even mean? Because if I'm a black Canadian, my experience is gonna be a lot different than a black American. They may not even consider they may not even consider me like black because I didn't go through a certain type of lifestyle.
Or
You know,
upbringing.
my parents didn't go through chattel slavery or whatever. You know what I mean?
So just on that, remember that time we were playing online
yeah.
and we were arguing with an American,
Called us nigger?
and no, he was calling you
Okay,
white.
not that time? Oh, yeah.
This guy was calling him white, so I'm
And
like,
he sounded white to me. And that's the thing, right? But anyway,
so it's like he was basically saying, "You white piece of shit." I'm sitting there like, "Hold on, wait, bro, this man's black." He's like, "Nah, nigga, nah." You hear his voice? I'm like, "So hold on, wait, your voice? There's a black voice now. Like, what's
Yeah.
going on?" Like,
Right.
and you know the fun, and this is what I mean. Like, what does it even mean to be black? Because your environment and stuff like that. Because when I was listening to him, to me, I thought I was talking to a white guy. He sounded like some white guy from the South. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Right.
So I think we get too caught up in regards to trying to out-black each other. You know what I mean? And again,
I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all.
yeah. And we got, again,
You know what? I want to touch on that because you said that to him, he sounded white. To him, you sounded white. Whatever, right?
yeah.
That's interesting because bottom line is there is no black culture. I'll put it like
Well,
this.
there we go.
There is no black culture. Whatever the culture that we have here is what was like we all right. I'm not gonna say there is no black culture to the point where we developed our own culture in terms of like hip hop. You know what I mean? Jamaicans. We have our reggae music, the conscious reggae music.
There's Jamaican culture.
Yeah, there's like the
Or
Ras,
whatever
the,
Caribbean
the Ras,
island
the
you
Ras
came from.
movement or whatever
Yeah,
the
yeah,
case is,
yeah.
right? Like we developed our own culture, but like the overall culture that like let's say a black Canadian, you know what I mean? Like you're born in Canada or whatever the case is. It's not really a black. We haven't determined the culture. It's like essentially society has determined the culture.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think for the most part, especially for us anyways, I think when we talk about culture, we're taking the culture from our parents. So I know for myself, I know for like T, I'm sure for you too as well. A lot of things we do, a lot of the reasons, a lot of the ways we think
Right.
is based on our upbringing, being around Jamaican culture,
Oh, okay,
You know,
right,
the way
right.
we
I
talk.
see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? A certain type of way.
Influence,
You know, obviously what we eat. You know what I mean? The music type of music we listen to is based on the culture of Jamaica, right? So as opposed to again, so that's why I say, you know, we get too caught up as a people in regards to getting categorized as a color. You know what I mean? Like you saying you're not black enough. I don't know. There's no definition of really black. 'Cause black is just a color. It's not a culture.
Right.
You know, a guy from Nigeria may look at us a certain type of way and be like, yo, you guys are really black. You ain't from Africa or things like that. And for example, Amanda Seales, I don't know if you guys all know who she is.
Who is she?
Who doesn't know
I
who
don't
she
know.
is?
I don't really know who she is. I think she's a comedian / she was on that show Insecure. But
She's on The View too as well, I think now.
I think she used to be on it.
Yeah, she used to be, but
They kicked her off?
no, she
I
didn't
don't
resign. She didn't resign.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she, I guess, like, you know, she's somebody who's, I guess, what you call pro-black. And I guess people were challenging her, like, yo, listen, your parents are from the Caribbean, or maybe her mom's from the Caribbean. You can't even talk about
Grenada,
yeah. You can't even really talk about these black issues in America because your parents didn't go through slavery and all those type of things. So let me play the clip,
Yeah.
and then we could go from there.
By the way, stop fucking saying that I'm a non-foundational black person. Y'all keep trying to come up with ways to undermine the validity of my voice, and I'm really tired of it. I was born in America. My mother is from Grenada. My father is from Boston. I am the descendant of chattel slavery in the West Indies and in America. I don't need to keep explaining this, but I'm gonna do it this one last time because I'm really fucking tired of it. I'm also a fucking genius. So there's a couple different reasons here why I should be listened to. 1, because I'm smart like a motherfucker. 2, because I am the descendant of ancestors who have been through the traumas that we are trying to undo right now. And 3, because I'm an authentic motherfucker and I speak from the heart every goddamn time. Now, anybody who's got something to say to me about otherwise can go suck a bag of dicks.
That was mad disrespectful at the end, but
Very, you could tell,
But-
but you could tell there's hatred. Like there's not hatred, but there's anger.
there's anger. And
Yeah.
again, I you know, we get too caught up in regards to the skin color thing, and we're trying to outdo each other and
Outwoke each other.
outwoke each other, and we got to realize, like, you got to understand your culture first. You know what I mean? Like, stop degrading yourself by identifying as a me personally, I think, as a color. So like when somebody says, yo, are you black, or if a white person says, hey, here's this black guy, like if somebody calls me black, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not black. What does that even mean?
Yo,
you know what I mean? Like back when I was younger, you just accept it. You're just like, okay,
Because you don't
I'm
know
black.
any better.
You
back
don't know
then.
any better.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, I would never go to an Asian man and be like, yo, look at this yellow man over here,
100%.
or the native Indian, call him a red man, or
So-
But why do we take that
Well, here's the thing,
as a
right?
badge of honor?
We get really disrespected on that type of level because if you actually look at it, if you're in a workplace and you ever go into any surveys, right? When they say, "What's your nationality?"
Black. I
They
just go out there, man.
They
I
have
don't even.
Native American,
Yeah.
They
Asian.
have Asian. They have South Asian.
Yep.
Then black.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you really just done categorized us to the word Negro that stemmed into nigger and so forth and so forth by just labeling us black.
Yeah.
Right. I'm perfectly fine when you're saying African descent.
Right.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, because
right?
essentially that's what we are.
That's
anyway.
basically what we are. There's like no doubt about it. But a lot of times, American blacks, which have the issue, they don't want to be categorized with Africans in any way. It's like they're their own black.
And vice versa. Like Africans, a lot of times, even they get a lot of. I don't want to say they give us a lot, but they give a lot of slack. They're not trying to associate with American blacks. You know what I mean?
right.
You know what? It's like I was saying, it's a cultural thing. Yo. Culturally, Americans are
Absolutely.
completely different.
And
from
it's all where you were
Africans.
raised too as well, right?
They
'Cause
don't
a lot
know their
of-
culture. That's the thing with
Right.
a lot of Americans, right?
You know,
And
even
they-
black, like, but I want to touch on black, yo, because black, just like you said about Asian and whatever the case is. Look on the map. What country is black? You know what I mean? Where can you find black, yo? You know, you can look at the map, find Asia.
Yeah.
You know, you can find all these other places, but there is no black.
There is no
So the thing is, black is just a term that was given to us because we went through slavery, we lost where we came from, we lost our original language, we lost our original culture,
Right.
and pretty much that's just a placeholder to be like, listen, you know what?
Absolutely.
Here's a little bit of identity you
Here's
can
your label.
grab onto and cling to and feel like you have something.
Right.
But why do we accept it so much?
Because it was given to us by people that ran us.
Yeah.
And we're so willing to want to integrate with people that will take that. Because a lot of people that I speak to that were born from Africa and they moved over, or they're still living in Africa. They said they never got the concept of black until they came to the Western society, or they left Africa. It's like, well, you could call me black. What the hell is that? Right? Which is kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's one other thing too that we have to realize is that if our original homeland, Africa, don't even consider the word black, why do we take it on so willingly?
So we have to unlearn this whole thing about being black.
Unlearn, man.
Right.
And then
For the
teach
unlearn.
ourselves.
Or the unlearn.
For the
Gotta
unlearn
get that
out
on a
there.
t-shirt, man. For the unlearn.
Question yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you keep calling yourself black, man?
Yeah, that's a yeah. You know what? Now here's the thing: if we were to shed that label of black, what would we identify with?
Wherever your
Where-
parents are descent from. But that's the thing.
Jamaica's the same thing. Remember, Jamaica. That's not. We didn't establish Jamaica. That's something that the Portuguese and the white man, the English, established. They called it. Jamaica literally means land of wood and water.
Right. But I understand what you're saying in regards.
So how
with
far
regards to
back? How far back are we gonna go?
Personally, I don't think you need to go that far back in regards to where you got to find out the original name of the or what we used to call it back in like the early hundreds. You know what I mean? I think for the most part, force people, because I remember I was having a conversation with my girl and she was like, "Yo, okay, if we don't call each other black, you know, how does somebody else identify us?" And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" First of all, nobody has ever come into like, "Hey, black guy," or anything like that. So whatever they say amongst themselves, they could say. But if anybody's gonna try to identify me or call me, ask me, you know, hey, are you, you know, you're black and blah blah. No, bro. Correct them.
Correct the way you're being addressed.
So correct them in terms of what way though?
I'll be like, yo, bro, no, I'm
Like,
not
where
black.
you from?
First of all, I'm Canadian, but my parents are from Jamaica. That's what it is. Because a lot of them,
that don't sit well with John.
John,
I hear
you're
his
about to say
voice.
something.
yeah. That's because anytime anybody asks you, where you from? For the most part, they're asking where your parents are from.
Yeah.
Right? So I'd say my parents are from Jamaica.
Right.
Right? Like,
Listen,
But what he's saying is that that's not where black culture stemmed from.
That's not where.
That's what he's trying to say.
That's
Or
what I'm
I shouldn't say black culture, but it's not where we originated from.
right.
It's
What,
almost
Jamaica?
it's almost a place where the white man created, where we were stolen from our original land and put there to force labor.
right.
We then took over that land, which is something that you should be proud of. But you're still saying there's still such history rooted in something that was not created by us.
So I would
Yeah.
say be careful with the whole slave narrative in regards to where we originated and things like that. Like, I'll tell you right now, if you think that every single black person lived in Africa and that was it, and like we didn't move around into other parts of the world, you're sadly mistaken. There were black people in America before slavery happened. You know what I'm saying? There was black people in the Caribbean before slavery. Like, if you think
And that's the
a whole
history
bunch
that's
of
not
it
being
was just
told.
because a whole
Right.
bunch of ships came over and transferred 4 million or whatever the number they try to throw out there in regards to placing us in these
Hold
type
on.
of
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
yeah.
99.9999% came from slave ships if they're over here, and particularly, let's say, Jamaica.
I would challenge that, but keep going.
Then challenge it.
Me just thinking logically, I don't feel. So you're telling me what was there before that? What was that island? There was nobody on there.
There was, there was, man. It's on our crest.
That's what I'm saying. That's
But
what
they weren't black though, bro.
What were they then?
Like,
what were they? That's like when they say that. That's what. But that's what they.
The Taínos.
But that's what it. But okay.
All right, you know-
So hold on. But that's what they say. Like the native Indians back in the day in America, bro. Majority of those were black natives, bro. You like this whole concept in regards to what natives are now, and what you see now. That's not what it was back in the 1700s or things like that. So that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful with regards to the slave narrative and
I think
Amistad ship happened.
I think
and
we
bomb.
need to have like a history podcast.
We gotta
You
do
know,
that
but you know
next
what? It's important because you said like earlier. You said we shouldn't go too far back. But at the same time, now you're saying that
You have to go far back.
there's such a rich history going further back in terms of like before slavery.
Yeah,
Let me show you something.
contradiction.
It's very important. Imagine if we were to find out, or because if you do the research, I agree with Jason. There was black people.
No one's disagreeing that there were not.
on this side of the
Yeah,
world.
the Moors.
Well, I
If
think
we
we all
if
agree with
if we
that.
understood that. Wait, hold on. Wait a second. We traveled here before Columbus. Like we had
up.
ships. We had ships that were able to cross the
Straight
Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, whatever the case is. We were explorers.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You know, the Moors ruled Europe
Absolutely.
before the white man.
The Moors
was
were down
ruled.
here.
You see what I'm saying? If we understood that, hold on, there's such a rich history. We wouldn't be looking and saying, okay, you know what? Wow, our history goes back to slavery, and then before that, I don't know, we're Africans.
And then
swinging
that's
on
it.
trees.
But
I
that's
don't
what
know.
I'm
You know what I
trying.
mean?
But that's what I'm trying to say is that the population, when it comes to the slavery versus the Moorish type of people, is totally it's day and night. But that's why I said 99 point majority of Americans can backtrack their stuff to slavery compared to the majority that could backtrack to someone that came over here
What you
without
mean through
slavery.
Ancestry.com? Bro.
No,
That thing's some fake
Bruh.
shit, bro.
a bunch of them were slaves. What are you talking about, bro?
Listen
We're
up, bro.
only a couple of generations away from slavery.
Let me show you something. I seen a black. I seen a video. Of
Yo, don't
interviewing
kill me
this
right
black
now.
girl. Yo, I'm talking about black girl.
Yeah.
Yo, you think regular black girl? She's like, yo, her family's Cherokee Indian. She's 100%
Absolutely,
Cherokee.
bro.
Yo. Like, yo, going back to her grandparents, everything. Yo, I'm talking about full black. Yo, she said she's 100% Cherokee.
If people really did the research in regards to where, like, really did the research, a lot, and I'm talking most people in the States, anyways. They would be shocked in regards to where they originated from. All right. Now, if you want to say everybody came from Africa, obviously, because the original man was from Africa. But I'm talking about, like, if they went a little bit deeper, they'd be surprised that maybe their parents were actually, or their great whatever parents were actually already Americans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're already on that land.
Yeah,
You know
a
what
lot
I
of
mean?
them do know that, though.
That's what I'm saying. So
Well, what I'm trying
I'd
to
be
say is
careful with, like, when we say, like, 99% of us just came here on.
But
on
what
a
are
boat
ways we
and-
can educate people though, so they could be
Jamaica
aware?
is. My first point was Jamaica.
You think Jamaica's 99% all from slave ship?
Most of them came from slaves.
All right.
If
Like
say
I said, we
99%,
need to
don't
have a
take, don't take
history
it like I'm giving you
podcast.
a factual number. I'm just saying.
if you have some counter evidence,
I'm just saying, majority of the people from Africa, slaves. I'm not. If I said 99 and it offends you, it's a trigger word. I apologize because I don't know the exact number.
Disclaimer.
I have to give a disclaimer because everybody's very sensitive when it comes to the words you use. But I'm saying
Right.
the majority of people can backtrack their stuff to being a slave.
Right.
My grandmother's house on top of the hill was a slave hut.
Right.
I'm not gonna say she was the Tahini from back in the day. No, she was a slave.
Right.
It's just a fact, right? Our last name was a slave last name. So it's like I'm not gonna say they were one of the Moors that came here and set up shop. No, we were slaves. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my point.
Right.
But there's another question I want to ask everybody too. Right?
You know what? Before we get to that, I want to touch on this quick, though, because we're asking what is black culture.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask what is not black culture. Like what is something that if a black person, you see a black person doing, you can say, you know what, you're off, yo. You know what I mean?
That's not what black people do.
That's not what black people do, yo. You know what I mean? Like,
But
do
the
we
thing
have
is,
limits, or when it comes to black
Who is
culture?
the
as long as
gatekeeper of that though? Like,
who's the gatekeeper of black culture?
all right, yeah, like
It should be
'cause-
black people, yo.
right, but every black person's not the same though.
Right? So in terms of that, who's the leaders of the black community or black?
We don't have one.
We don't have no leaders.
We don't have no leaders.
Right.
So even if we go back to the question of Will and Jaden saying that they didn't feel black enough because the things that they decided to do in their life and they got ostracized for it, basically, is that stuff that you guys see in like your own community and growing up, like black kids doing stuff outside the norm of what we're used to seeing? So we said, you know what, you're not even really black. So for instance, when I was growing up, you played basketball or you played like football or whatever the case may be, but as soon as you seen a little black kid coming to a skateboard, it's like,
Or playing hockey.
or playing hockey.
Right.
Like for instance, my brother played hockey and baseball,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So did my bro, baseball.
Yeah, your brother played baseball heavily, right?
Yeah.
But my brother played like hockey, and I was like, yo, what the fuck you doing, bro? Like why you not playing basketball, motherfucker? He's like, yeah, are you black? Is that right for us to say that to another black person?
Yeah, like
Right? Because we could extend that to anything. Just because he pronounces certain words, just because he lives in a different area,
right.
just because their skin complexion is different complexion.
Right.
Who are we to say you're not black anymore?
Because that's what I was getting at. Is like, who are we to say, okay, well, you're not black enough? Because everyone is raised a different way, right? So I might, like, for example, you might be raised in the suburbs. I'm raised in the hood. How can I say he's not black because he was raised in a suburb, right?
So going back to my main question, what is the limitations, or is there no limit? Is it as long as black people adopt it, it's now black culture?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're doing now? Because pretty much right now, there's a lot of black people in the LGBT movement, and we could say 30 years from now, well, so much black people adopted it, so now it's black culture. Are we gonna?
But here's the thing,
you know what I mean?
and then
next thing you know, pedophilia, and then you know what I mean?
We got people exiting the room right now because they're like, we can't touch certain topics because it's a trigger.
I'm saying like, where is the limit though?
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say, yo.
So, for instance, let's talk about the LGBTQ just for a quick second. I remember having this big debate on, or being a part of a big debate on social media when it comes to homosexuality is not native to Africans, right? Where people were even using Native Americans saying back in their times they were called two-spirited people. So there is documentation that said there are people in the past that practiced it openly. It was just called something differently, but it was also accepted to a point. Right, and even some people were showing like literature that said in certain tribes in Africa it was the same thing. Right, there were people that were attracted to both men and women. Right, so I'm not saying I didn't do no research. I didn't look up on it. I didn't see it. But there's arguments out there that says no, there was actually homosexuality in Africa as well. How did black people or the Africans adopted that if it's not native to them?
Did they adopt it?
That's what I'm trying to say. Is it natural to them?
I think
is it not a black thing to be homosexual? Like, because someone is LGBTQ does not make them less black. They're still black.
Listen, historically, you're not going to find any broad literature. You're not going to find an African nation like Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Does Ethiopia historically has Ethiopia?
No.
Does Ethiopia support the LGBT lifestyle, and do they promote it where they have, programs and cultural festivals celebrating it every year? They don't do that. The first place that actually had a LGBT festival was on this side, on the western world, though. You know what I mean? Canada, the United States, and Europe, and they're trying to be missionaries and spread that all over the world. Though.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So unless someone could show me some African, celebration day or festival where they're having a LGBT day, dog. That, as far as I know, Africans did not embrace it. If there was, scarce people that did embrace it, it wasn't culture. It wasn't something that was culturally, widely culturally done. It was like
culturally pushed, culturally celebrated.
Yeah, it was like a little subset that was rebellious.
So you're saying it was just pushed on them then?
It's 100% pushed on.
But my question is, does that make them less black?
Does it make them less black? Well,
to you, I'm answering your point.
To me,
yeah.
All right. Well, I'll say it like this, yo. Let's look at all the other cultures, though. If you look at the Indians or the Chinese or whatever the case is, if they have children, if the girl has a child out of wedlock or something like that, they're disowning them. You see what I'm saying? That means, what does that mean? You're not that they're looking at you like, yo, you're cut off from the family, you're cut off from our culture, you're cut off from our people because you went and did shit that's outside what we accept.
The standards.
But then again, I think we go back to you're talking about, see how we differentiated black, and now you're saying the example is Chinese.
No, but I'm just saying I'm using the example as that they have a safeguard, or a barrier to protect their culture. They're not their culture is not evolving with the time and say, okay, you know what, because you accepted it, we're gonna all accept it now. And now you accepted this, we're gonna accept this. You know what I mean? I'm saying that they don't allow their culture to be changed based off of feelings or because somebody in their family accepted it.
They have more strict guidelines and rules.
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. And what I'm saying when it comes to black people now, are we gonna adopt that, or are we just
too loose with it?
But hold on,
we're too loose with it. Yeah,
hold on. But then there are obviously, let's follow your example with regard to the Chinese. There are obviously Chinese people that are part of the LGBTQ community.
All right, when I say, I'm talking about more strict cultures, though. Like, for example, like the Sikh. Let's say the Sikhs or whatever.
There's Sikh, there's Muslims, there's whatever culture there's out there. There's homosexuals. There's gonna be people part of the LGBTQ community. Now
that is accepted by the broader culture.
Now is it accepted by Jamaican culture to be part of the LGBTQ community? But that's what. So what are we really saying? But does a Jamaican look at let's say another Jamaican in Jamaica who's part of that community as not being Jamaican?
Right. I was just looking into that. Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you're just basically saying just because you're gay doesn't mean you're lesbian.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, whatever.
Listen, someone has different feelings.
I'm just saying. Listen, so there's certain. All right, anyways, I'm done.
So
go ahead.
Let me ask you guys this question, right? Because I have two questions I'm going to shoot back to back, right? One is going to be experiential, and the other one is going to be more so your personal opinion on black. So the first one is I've had multiple conversations with women that are of lighter complexion. Either they are a biracial or they're just really light.
Right.
They feel they are not treated fairly or accepted in the black community. Do you guys feel that is true?
Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, if you're light skinned, you mean?
If you're a light skinned ting, or you're light skinned,
real
I'm
trauma,
not gonna front. I'm gonna look at you a certain like, yeah. You ain't
But why though?
yeah.
So then you're taking away from their blackness.
I am. Listen, man.
But why
I'm
though?
not
Explain. But
perfect.
why?
How
But
light?
why?
Hold on.
Because the thing is,
How
the
light
thing is, their
skinned?
problem
How
is
light
they
skinned?
Now
Now he's
listen.
saying how light skinned because
Wow,
on the lighter
now we-
side.
Let me tell you right now.
Now we going brown, light, beige.
Like my sister, my youngest sister is light bright. Like she's light as hell. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Did you say light bright?
Light bright. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
she's compared to her brother
very
sister,
light.
she's light.
Oh.
Lighter than him.
Okay.
And
John said,
you know, we
fucking
joke.
light.
I used to joke around with her and whatnot like that. But the fact that I knew that she came from obviously two parents that were black. Obviously, I knew she was black. Now, with regards to biracial,
Duh.
I mean, and especially because it's so crazy how genetics are, right? You could have somebody that is biracial, black mom or black dad, white counterpart,
Right.
and you could tell when you look at them, like, all right, you can still, that still looks like a black guy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But then you have some other ones, man, where you look at them and you're just like,
Are you really black?
Sorry, like Mariah Carey's kids. You ever see Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon's kids, man?
To be honest, I look at Mariah Carey and I
Well, yeah,
I still
yeah.
don't even.
And
I
she's
look at her,
both-
I'm like, you're black.
And even her, like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Is she black? What's her?
I
What's
think
her
her
dad?
I think her dad's black.
Her dad's
Her
black?
dad's black. Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just genetics, like he's saying. She
Listen,
came out.
if her dad's black, she's black, dog.
No, I.
Oh, here
So what?
we go.
So wait.
That was
So wait.
that
Stick
was
on
why-
topic. Stick on
Hold on.
Man.
So
When you
wait.
see Mariah Carey,
Hold
you see a
on.
black woman?
What if the
Yo,
mother's
she
black?
She look kind of black.
Kind
I
of,
don't
but
know.
kind of
I don't know,
black-ish.
dog. I don't
Honestly,
know.
when I
Was
first
that a show?
blackish,
Yeah.
But honestly, when I see Mariah Carey, when people are like, "Oh, she's black," I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
She don't look white, dog.
So
If you put her beside a white woman, does she look like the white woman?
She doesn't look like a full-blown Caucasian, if that's what you're asking.
Right.
I would say that
But
there's definitely something in there.
There's
there's some
something
spice
in there that's mixed
but-
with white.
Right,
So
right.
if she'd have said, "Yeah, I'm half Mexican and half white," I was like,
I mean, all
"I
right,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
that
okay."
makes
So
sense.
what are black features then? If we're really
Well, like, no,
looking-
because-
Nose,
Yeah, the
Nah, I'm just
nose.
Oh,
Curly
broad
hair,
nose,
the
big
curly
lips.
hair.
curly hair.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you're trying to say you're black, right, but you're talking to someone that is very light skinned,
Mm-hmm.
or you're talking to someone that is albino,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like it can't be based.
I would
off
say more, not even light skin. I would say more if you're biracial.
you're biracial.
I think the
But here's
biracial
the
one is the
thing:
one
I
that
had a
really,
conversation with this girl. I knew her for quite some time, and she was half Italian, half like Grenadier, St. Vincent, one of them. This is
Small
disrespectul small islands.
Yeah, yeah.
What was her dad?
Don't be hating on Vince.
Her dad was
Don't be
Italian,
hating.
Her dad was Italian.
but her mother was black,
right.
right? And I thought she was black all the time. I just thought she was like a lighter skinned black woman.
Right.
And then I found out her dad was white, and I was like, but I wouldn't even have known, right? And people are like, no, she could tell she's mixed, but I'm like, I thought she was just a light skinned black person.
Right.
But we had a conversation, and she was talking about, oh, black people need to get over slavery, and I'm like, hold on, wait, who's talking right now?
I knew she would say that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say.
She was good.
As soon as I heard who the pops was, I
That's the go-to, right?
But when I heard that come out of her mouth, I said, hold on, wait, who? In my head, I was like, which side is talking right now? Because black people don't usually say, oh,
black
you
people
need to get off slavery.
There's some
Or-
cool. There's some cool
there's
who say that.
But I'm saying majority. But the white people, more so white people say, get over that past, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm
Get
like,
over it, man.
I said to her, I was real. It hurt her feeling. I said, yo, man, you just lost your black card.
Right.
She was like, how dare you
How
take
dare
away
you,
from
man?
my
Who-
blackness?
who are you
Bitch, you
to?
ain't black anyway.
Like,
Yo,
who are you to
say?
say?
But see what I mean?
Hold on,
That's what I'm saying.
Hold
Like,
on, all right, you know what?
we're trying to figure out who the
Alright.
gatekeeper. Who
Okay,
are
all right, I have a
we?
the- listen
Just
to my
because we have a
theory,
different
though.
opinion to
I have
say.
a-
you
I have
know
a
what?
theory. I have a
Alright,
theory, yo.
What's your theory?
My theory is this, though. The man carries the seed, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you
Yep.
know, semen, that's the
Accurate.
seed, right?
Yeah.
Accurate.
The woman is the soil. If you take an apple seed that's from Canada, you plant it in China,
Still a Canadian.
it's still an apple seed.
Canadian apple, whatever.
So the same thing with black man. Yo, if you
Yeah,
impregnate a white thing,
So let me ask you a question, because I see where you're getting. I know it's going to get some heavy backlash. Are you saying the semen is more important than the egg?
listen, the
Absolutely.
seed is the
Always.
seed, though. Listen, in nature, you can't argue with nature. Yo.
Seed is
Doesn't
the
matter
seed.
what soil you plant it in. You can plant it in Lebanese soil.
But the egg,
you can plant it
but
in.
you're saying the egg is soil? That's what you're
the
saying?
egg is soil.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
The and the
No, absolutely.
So
He's-
semen is
he's
in,
also accurate on that.
in biology, when
we
a
go
man
now.
ejaculates inside a woman's vaginal canal. Yeah, this sounds disgusting when you say it that way.
Just busting the thing, bro. Like that sounds way more.
Sir, that is too
That
black
sounded
for this show.
Come on now.
But there are certain things that the egg actually does that actually repels sperm.
Right.
It actually sends out signals to push away the inferior sperm away from the egg. So the inferior sperm will actually, go down the wrong.
Okay. All right, this is Dr. Sanjay. Okay.
Hey, man, I try to read.
Sanjay Gupta. Okay.
Nigga, you take away from my blackness?
Anyways, finish.
But I'm trying to say, if the egg is so intelligent enough to do things like that,
Right.
how are we going to take away from its power of the egg?
I'm not taking any power.
Listen, but
the soil. The soil is a key component.
And let's
listen,
not-
if the soil,
okay.
if the soil is not rich,
Yeah.
the seed won't grow. Yo. Like, don't get me wrong. Yo. Listen, if there's no, if
she's not fertile,
if it doesn't, listen, you can't plant a seed in sand. It will not grow. You have to have rich soil. So I'm not taking away.
Cactus.
I'm not taking away. All right. But anyway,
continue.
listen, there's certain seeds need
Yeah,
a
yeah,
rich
yeah,
environment.
right,
That's what I'm
right.
trying to say. Yo. So I'm not sitting here saying the woman's egg is useless.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that the nature of the fruit, the tree
right,
that
he's
grows
right,
up,
he's
right.
is
He's
based
right, he's
off of
right.
the seed.
No. I
You
hear what you're
redeemed
saying.
yourself.
So
You
that's why
redeemed yourself.
when you said, the girl had a white pops and then she's just like, oh, black people need to get over slavery.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised that came out of her mouth because the root, which is the seed that was in, that developed her,
Yeah.
that came from the white side. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my theory.
I'm not gonna battle that.
I'm just, you know what I mean?
So here's my second question to you guys. I'm going to ask you guys individually. Who should I start off with? I'm going to start off with. I'm going to go with Duke. He's right in front of me. Duke.
All right.
I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to pick, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you two scenarios. Here we go. Would you rather be, and your background is Barbados, right?
Yeah, Bajan Vinci. Yeah.
I used to call them Barbadians or
Barbodians.
like Conan's Barbodian, yeah.
So what? You're
Bayesian.
Vinci now?
Bajan and Vinci.
You're
but
saying
Bajan.
Vinci now?
What do
I
you
thought
mean
you-
now?
I
you
never
always-
heard that one before.
you never heard that in my life,
always
bro.
heard Barbados.
I
Anyway.
said Bajan Vinci
Whatever,
all the
brother.
time.
He's claiming
Would you
it.
rather be a white man that grew up and lived in Barbados or St. Vincent,
Mhm.
or remain a black man, but you born and grown up in, let's say, northern Russia or Kazakhstan?
I'll take the latter. Black man.
You still continue to be a black man?
Yeah.
All right. John, same question to you, sir.
What's the difference between being a black man in Kazakhstan or Russia and being a black man in America or Canada? What's the difference? Though?
I'm pretty sure there's a lot
There's
more
a
hardship.
there's a big difference.
So explain to me.
No,
But
I would.
all right, I'll say this because
Yeah.
regardless whether you're a black man in Canada or in America or a black man in Kazakhstan or Russia,
Yeah.
both of those are not your land anyway. You know what I mean? You're not in your land. You're
but
at the
that's
mercy.
going deep, man.
You're at the mercy of
But-
people
but-
that rule over you.
Listen, man.
I'm just saying.
Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, listen, bro.
I'm-
gotta open up a
it's
can
my
of worms,
answer,
man.
dog. I can't.
Don't black me to death, bro. All right, listen, man.
Blackout.
But no.
So hold on.
There's definitely gonna be hold on, just to get to his point.
Yeah.
There's definitely a difference, man. Listen, if you're a black man in Kazakhstan, first of all, the way you're gonna be treated as opposed to a black man in America, and you can tell me, police brutality and some of the racism stuff that happens. But bro, if you're the only black guy in Kazakhstan or whatever, Mother Russia,
Yep.
bro, people are looking at you. People are treating you a different type of way. People are.
Yeah.
And that shit don't happen down
That's
in
everywhere,
the side
though.
of the world, though.
Yeah, let me ask you.
That's
hold on.
everywhere.
You know what? Fuck this.
Let me hear the
Go-
real.
go
Let me
in,
hear
dog.
the real.
Hold on.
What's
I
up?
want to know. Let me,
Here's another Riley's
how many people
rants.
you guys know have been lynched? How many people you guys know? Because the way man's are acting is like, they lived in slavery and
You say you got
the white
chased by
man is-
dogs in the woods?
Yeah, like the white man's foot is on their neck, man. Like, come on, man. Let's keep it 100 right now. 'Cause
So-
we're all
let's
keep it
Canadians.
So,
man.
for instance,
We're keeping it Canadian. We're all Canadian.
I would say this: if you were a black man living in Kazakhstan compared to a black man, let's say Canada,
Right.
your opportunities are far more vast in Canada than it
Absolutely.
is in Kazakhstan.
How do you know that? Do we know any man been here to Kazakhstan or whatever?
Say it
I
again?
don't. I've never been to
Whatever,
Kazakhstan.
man. You know, Kazakhstan, dog.
I've never been to Kazakhstan,
Right.
but there's not a lot of black people.
A lot, if any. Yeah.
There's not a lot of people.
Probably
back
like
there.
0.1%.
And on top of that, it's not as are they being degraded or whatever the case may be. They're just they're just nothing. There's none of them.
Hold
there.
on,
Like,
hold on.
and plus their culture is totally different.
They adopted the culture of the
you have
majority.
to, your culture is now Kazakhstan, where your background is Jamaican now,
But
right?
the same thing like
I need
how
to ask
we're,
you that
us down here, yo,
But your background is Jamaican, right?
right?
So you're now a white man, but you have the whole Ras thing going on. You have the music thing going on. You have the whole culture of Jamaica, right? And that's what you're familiar with right now. But if you were a black man in Kazakhstan now, you are now immersed in Kazakhstan culture.
Right.
So would you rather continue to be a black man in Kazakhstan with Kazakhstan culture or a white man still immersed in the Jamaican culture?
I'd never want to be a white man, yo.
Okay, so you would
So I'd
pick
rather
the
be a
black man.
I'd rather
Okay,
be a black man, yo.
perfect. We don't have to go to the roots of the black history. Like, listen,
Man went
oppression is-
straight to the soil.
Yeah, bro.
So same thing to you, right?
But I want to touch on his question, yo, because the man said, yo.
I want
the
to
man
touch. I have
said,
a question for you. What kind of
Alright.
oppression you faced, man?
What kind of
I
what do you
need
mean
to
oppression?
know what the white man has been doing to you that you feel this type of way where, like, you know what I mean? You'd rather be the black man in Kazakhstan than the white man in. Because I can tell you right now, my answer would be the white man in Jamaica. For one, you have all of the quote unquote white privilege.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm in Jamaica. Why would I want to go through? Why would I purposely want to go through all of the torment or whatever because we know Jamaican or white people in Jamaica.
Yeah,
Are they treated? Are they treated
They have more
less
privilege.
than or more privileged than
More
the
privilege.
actual damn natives that
More
actually
privilege.
live there?
More
So
privilege.
you're
Listen,
saying
why
you
would-
so you're saying you're choosing based off of privilege.
he's
Absolutely.
he's choosing culture over.
Culture and privilege.
So you don't like being black?
No, but if I had a choice, what am I going to be? Be the black guy and go through oppression and all that type of stuff just to be black?
So
Yeah.
you
If I had
would
a
be, you would,
choice-
so you would be a white man living in New York with a rich parents than a black person, let's say, growing up in the civil rights movement.
No, because that's different. At least I'm around other black people. You have totally two different things. You have me
Okay.
in the black Mother Russia around a bare bunch of white mans. Like, what am I doing there? You know what I mean? Who am I talking to? What am if I'm going to the struggle, at least I'm going to the struggle with my peoples. You know what I mean?
There's
So I'd
black
rather
people
that.
in Russia, Bridget.
Oh my
You're talking from a place of ignorance, dog. I'm
nigga,
telling you right now,
my
there's
nigga,
black people
my
down
nigga.
there, bro.
I want you to pull up Wikipedia right now.
B, you can
and
pull it
Google,
up. You can
Google
pull
the
that shit up.
population of black people in Russia.
B, there's black people down
But
there.
there's
You
still-
acting like
there's
there's
still-
only, you acting like there's only
okay.
10 black people in
I
Russia.
understand
bro.
what you're.
There's more than 10
I
black people
understand
in
what
Russia.
you're saying, John. I
Yo,
understand.
you guys are
Listen,
killing me right now.
there's black people in
passionate.
Tokyo. There's black people in.
Yes, we know. There's black people everywhere.
There's black people everywhere, bro.
Okay, so
I
hold
get
on,
it.
perfect. So let me
Jesus
moderate.
Christ.
This guy said some shit that's so
What?
freaked up, dog.
That there's no black people in
No,
in
not that.
Northern Russia.
Yo, I think this is the
No,
liquor
he's
The fact
speaking.
that
speaking.
you said
fact
that
that
you
you
want
pick
to
up-
be a white man.
He's offended.
Tell me why you're offended. Tell me why you're offended.
Yo, you know what? That
Black
shit, you know
people
what? I
going
can't even say
down.
I'm offended. You know what it does? It just shows that you don't know the richness of the culture that you're sitting on, the blood that's running through your veins. You don't understand. Yo, there's a deep royalty that's running through your blood that you don't understand, and the fact that you're willing to trade it over
you hear
a temporary privilege.
It's not temporary privilege for
it's
one.
temporary, yo.
And first of all, bro, you're talking from a place of privilege. Like I said,
what
you're
are you
talking about a place. We are from Canada. Again, I don't know what type of oppression that you faced growing up, or what type of oppression that the white man did to you in regards to white but for you to say that being a black man in Kazakhstan or whatever country we said, I'm gonna still understand the whole my royalty this and my that and that, as opposed to the daily struggles that I'm gonna be facing as being basically one of the only black guys in Kazakhstan. And yeah, sure, there's maybe a few other black guys, but the majority, 99, to use his percentage earlier, 99.9% of the people in Kazakhstan are Kazakhstani. I don't even know what you want to call them, but whatever they are. So for me to go through that daily struggle in regards to, again, how I'm treated, you know, there's going to be overt racism as opposed to as well as covert racism.
So is there
You know
no
what I'm
is there no racism in Canada?
bruv? Like I said,
Is there no is there
I want you to
Racism is
imagine the
universal.
oppression you
I'm,
face,
no, I'm
bro.
asking you a question. Is there no racism in Canada?
I'm sure there. Let me tell you from my
Okay.
personal example. Let me tell you from my example. Has there ever been an issue with regards to where I personally felt I didn't get something based on my race? No. Have you?
I'm okay, but
I'm-
no,
no,
hold
I'm asking you.
on, no,
I'm
'cause
asking you.
no, 'cause
One
I
at a
was asking you a
time.
question. I was asking you a question, yo.
Okay.
Listen, the reason why you don't feel there is no racism, because understand where you live. Yo, remember, black people are the minority in Canada. You know that for a fact, right? Yo, black people are concentrated in the southern Ontario region, yo,
Okay.
the GTA region. Yo, white people are not gonna come with their racism fuckery where there's a majority of black people. Understand that. If you're living in friggin' Sudbury or some fuckery in the 50s, B, there's race. My pops grew up in Sudbury. Dog, mans are doing the goose step. You know the goose step? The Hitler walk.
So let me ask
So understand this.
Yeah.
When you're the minority in an area where the majority of people are white, you're gonna experience some fuckery.
So
racism. When it comes to living in the GTA where there's bare black people, there's black people all over Toronto.
So my question again then goes to, why would I put myself knowingly in a position to face all of that?
You don't know if there's a community like that in Kazakhstan. You don't know that.
Can I get
Do you know that?
clarification on what the fuck is the goose step?
All right, then.
The goose step is the Hitler
thing.
The
Yeah.
Hitler walk.
okay,
the walk where
okay.
they do they have the
high hit that thing. Okay, okay.
the
I'm like, what the fuck? Is
All
that?
right.
I got to learn.
There's
I
a
was
big
unlearning.
part-
Yeah, that's
There's
how you start the whole
I'm trying to
conversation.
figure out what the fuck was the
There's
goose
a big
step, bro?
population in Kazakhstan of black people.
'Cause a lot
we'll
of-
leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
All right, anyways.
Yeah, so
Believe
let's
it.
not,
Because
let's not go on it because you guys
I
getting
didn't
real
know there
passionate.
was, but apparently he does.
So
I'm gonna look at the statistics on how many black people.
Listen, all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this, yo. The reason
Let me
why
do
you
that
didn't
2 seconds,
experience
then.
racism is like I said, yo. There's bare black people here, yo.
Okay,
where you're at right now, yo.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, if you grew up around, all right,
But that's what I'm saying. Why would I put my again? It goes back to hold on. But then it goes back to the original question with regard to what would you rather be? Would you rather be a black guy in northern Russia, which I'm gonna assume is predominantly, and I mean predominantly, 99.9% of the population is more than likely gonna be white, right? Why would I put after you just told me in regards to your dad living in Sudbury, mans are doing the Hitler goose step. They're doing this, they're doing that. Why would I knowingly put myself in that position, is what I'm saying. Why would I, if my other option is being a white guy in Jamaica where they're going to treat me better than they do their own people? Why would I do that? I'm just asking.
Man, listen, I just love being black. That's all. That's all I meant to say.
So when you guys hear this, I want you really to comment on this, and I want you guys to comment on which you guys rather be, right? Would you rather continue to be black, or would you rather change your race and keep your culture? Because it kind of seems like it's not a split, because I'm definitely going to keep black wherever I go. But I understand where he's saying is he doesn't want to deal with the struggle.
So explain
if he
it, because you never explained it.
What, my choice?
Yeah.
I'm going to pick black.
Okay, explain why.
Reason being just because that's all I know. 2, it seems like from my experience, black people have a different type of history when it comes to love, nurturing, and all that other stuff, right?
Okay.
The next one is our physicality, man. I've grown up as a black guy, and when it comes to like physical stuff, I ain't gonna fucking lie. We just dominant.
It's different, yeah.
It's just dominant.
Listen, black people are the salt, dog. They give flavor to everything, Bridget. All right?
I ain't gonna.
Point
I'll use a
blank,
different seasoning, but yeah,
Salt gives salt doesn't give flavor.
It gives flavor, but I'll be like, I just don't like
no
salt
salt,
too
no
much.
pepper. We do.
We're well seasoned. Like just by, and I get his point, right? The struggle is like, why would I struggle when I have an option not to struggle?
Right.
But to me, being a black person and have gone through struggle. So if you'd ask me what kind of racism have I gone through to say white man, I'll say, here we go. I've been in white schools with white teachers where they told me I wouldn't amount to shit. I remember a teacher telling me, say, why are you even thinking about going to university or college? You ain't gonna make it. Right? I had white people tell my mom while I was a kid walking into elevators in Scarborough, don't even go into the elevators. Monkeys has been in there. You might catch something. I had police officers arrest me for no damn reason. I've been through the courts and the jail system because of people. They thought I was somebody else because I was black in the neighborhood I came from. Right? You ever walk down the street, you and your boys, and the cops pull you guys over and you're on your knees?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through that stuff, but I've been through a lot of stuff. I got beat up by cops.
But here's the thing.
But I've got. But let me finish. Let me finish. Can I finish, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been through those stuff. I not many times, but I got beat up by a cop before. So I've been through struggle as a black man, and I still wouldn't see myself being another race by choice.
But again, we're talking about that based on your example.
Yeah.
Living in the GTA.
Yeah.
Again, compare that to somebody who lives in. Again, I don't know. We keep using.
But he's just basically saying, regardless of the situation, he's still.
No, but he's giving
points. But what I'm saying is, yeah, he's giving his points in regards to the things that he's faced. But it's still a lot different facing all those issues here in Canada, where it is so multicultural. There is, you lived in Villa Ways, is basically all black people for the most part,
Yeah,
right?
100%, yeah.
Right?
No.
As opposed to, again, I'm going based on the example that was provided.
Yeah.
Right.
Living in Kazakhstan or Mother Russia, whatever, where I just looked at the percentage. Here's the.
I can't see that, Bridget.
I'll throw the phone to you.
Yo, read
There
it.
is no percentage in regards to like I don't know if any of these countries are black countries or whatnot.
But the thing is, we're
what I'm saying is that type of what you faced right there, you could probably more than likely times that by 10, 20, 30.
But we also have to remember we're basing our answers off of our own experiences. Like if our experiences were different, we'd probably be saying different answers.
No, 100%, and that's what it's a question to ask people to get them to think, right? And again, to the viewers that are listening in, man, just think about it, because we as black people love to cast judgment too much on the word black, and I feel that we are acting as the gatekeeper to blackness, if that's even a thing, right? Because someone is lighter than you doesn't mean they're not black. Just because someone has a different type of way of speaking, like for instance, you ever see a black person come and speak full French?
I know black people that can speak
You see
French.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I would look at them as less black just because they speak French.
Right.
But now I have left the unlearned realm.
You're educated.
They're still black.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
I can't take someone's blackness away from them just because
He
they're
said,
Willow
"Je
and a
m'appelle."
Jaden and they're wearing a skirt.
No. See, no. Listen, there's a difference between. I know there are black people in Montreal.
Yeah.
They speak they speak more French than English. They can speak English, but their French is more on point than their English.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say I can't compare them to a Jaden and a Willow.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. The language you speak is different versus putting on a skirt and heels and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
No, 100%. Everybody has their own opinion, right?
And we should be the gatekeepers, though. The black man should be the gatekeepers.
Not the
to
black women?
to black culture.
You're saying the black man should be the gatekeeper?
Yeah, to black culture.
What about the black women?
What about the
black women? Yo, the black women. Listen, the black women. Yo, honestly,
don't stutter now. Don't stutter now.
I'm gonna say this.
You gotta think it through.
No,
sir.
I'm not gonna think nothing through. I'm gonna say straight. The black man.
Don't be toxic.
The black man should be the gatekeepers for the culture of black people.
Why?
Point blank.
Including black women?
Including black women,
Okay.
They should be, someone has to be the gatekeeper. The black woman should be the gatekeeper.
No.
The black children should be the gatekeeper.
So when
So
black
who
women,
should be the gatekeeper?
When
then?
black women wear
my
weave and
thing
all
is-
that type of stuff, is that acceptable?
Sorry?
When black women wear weave and they got that type of blonde weave.
Listen,
and they
that's
got-
something that needs to be discussed
On
amongst
another
the-
episode.
Yeah, that's
And on that note,
that's
team,
something else.
let's just
But
wrap
let's
it
just
up.
wrap it up. I think from the conclusion of what we have spoken today, even though we're kind of all over the place, is that we got to ease up on how we try to take blackness away from individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think some people, don't get me wrong, are not for the black culture, even though they are black.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people that don't grow up in a black culture, but still are black, if that makes sense. So they could grow outside of a black community, but still have blackness on the forefront of their mind.
Right.
And we can't take the blackness away from them because they're a lighter shade, they talk a different way, they grew
Right.
up in a different area. Because what happens is we then, we focus too much energy on defining the blackness when we have other shit that we gotta
We're
deal with.
policing too much.
100%. And even by this conversation where we had a little heated exchange, which was kind of healthy, we all here are black. I can't take it away from you because you like to pronounce your words a little bit more than I do, or you like to listen to pop, or you like to wear
random shit. Who the fuck is listening to pop?
Well, I'm a producer. Whoa. I'm a producer, so I just listen to anything anyway. So
I'm just saying in general, right? Or if you wear, whatever the case may be. But it's what it is what it is. Please, by all means, guys, comment, subscribe, follow
Yes,
us
sir.
on all social media platforms. We'll be given at the end of the podcast. And that's all I got to say. And my name is T.
Riley.
Duke De Niro.
John the Tech Man.
It's a Certified Vet Podcast with another episode. We out.